Well, hello everybody, Danny from Deep South Homestead. We're back on our pasture back here. Guys, we're at the point where it's the red crimson clover has finally matured, and we're going to be taking it and literally stripping it off like this. This is all the seeds. Their individual little seeds is inside these right here. We're going to be gathering a bunch of them to take to other parts of our property and see if we can get them started before they actually fall out here on the ground. It's just that simple. Now the red crimson clover has many benefits to it. One is it is a natural nitrogen fixer for the soil. That's why we like to mix it in our pastures. It helps provide nitrogen for our other grasses and plants and stuff like this. It has a ton of health benefits to it. I mean, literally lots of health benefits. It's a very beneficial plant to have on the property. It's also, we have cattle. It's a very beneficial fodder feed for cattle. Now you do have to be careful with it in the early spring when it first comes up because it's so rich. If an animal gets into it and eats a lot of it, they can bloat. So you have to be kind of aware of that aspect and just kind of monitor them. Now what we like to do is when it's in this stage right here, this is the point we like to let the cows eat it because it's past the point that it's actually going to cause them to bloat. It's just loaded with nitrogen in the ground. It's loaded with nutrition in the plant that cattle need. Also, it has tons of things that we need as humans. It's great for women, especially women that are in menopausal. It's great for that. They can make teas out of it that helps with that. It is a immune booster. It's great for making teas out of for just general health because of all the benefits that it offers for the human body. It's probably, if I had to say one thing I would love to have all over the whole property, this would be it, because of its ability to not only benefit the soil, benefit my animals, but to benefit us also here on the homestead. Guys, if you're looking for the red crimson clover seeds to plant a larger area with, you can go to Hoss Tool Seed Company. They have it in bulk that you can buy by the pound as a cover crop. It makes a fantastic cover crop. And it doesn't take a lot of seeds to go a long way either. That's the thing about it. All you got to do is just have a few seeds in a place, and it will literally, if you let it go to seed, it will gradually take over. That's what we do here at our place. Is I'm going to hand harvest some of these just to go scatter around on different places on the property. And then I'll come in here with my zero turn and I'll mow this, and it will actually blow and scatter these seeds all over the place out here. Well guys, while out here gathering our crimson clover seeds, I'm walking back to the Ranger. I want to show you something. I want you to take a good look at this soil right here. Y'all see that? Laying in the edge of the soil. If I take my fingers and start clearing out around it here.
Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Ah!
Look at this.
Perfect.
Another perfect head.
Just laying
right here in the dirt. I happen to see it from a distance because my eyes are always on the ground here because this is where we find these things at. Now we're in a part down here that I don't really ever hunt, but I've learned that while I'm down here to, now this is probably not an arrowhead, this is probably a spearhead. But I've learned to constantly focus my attention on the ground as I walk, looking for these types of things.
Another blast from the past.
Another blast from the past, yep. Look at that. And one thing we've noticed, I'll mention this about them here. These here, there will always be one side of it that's flat, and there will always be one side that has a big hump on it. There's been a lot of speculation as to why that is. One was to know who made, you know, what group of people made what arrowhead. One was that it's made to go between the ribs and not pull back out because it would hang behind the ribs. I've heard a lot of different theories. That way you would know which group actually killed the animal if it was found later. So, I mean, I don't actually know the truth behind it, but I have noticed that. All right, guys, we're at a section of our property here. We're beginning to put up our corner braces here, letting them get set. We've got the wire. We're gonna finish this up here in the next week. We're gonna try to run a fence across the back of our property here and create a lane through here so that we can move the cows from one side of our property to the other side around behind the cabin through here. And one reason I wanted to harvest these clover seeds is to take and come through here in some of this area in here and just drop a few of these seeds randomly along through here so that we can get a little clover started in here. And what that will do is two things. It will allow us to have some early winter foraging, or early spring foraging, should I say, here for the cows. Plus, this is the swamps back in here where all the deer live. And the deer this fall, when this stuff comes up, the deer will jump the fence and come in here, and they will begin to feed on this, and it will give us an opportunity to have a natural food plot that will not only benefit us, it'll benefit nature and the wildlife, and two, if we need to take a deer for the freezer, it'll give us a natural food plot. We won't actually have to be running around buying something to plant for the deer to eat. Deer like to eat things that come up naturally and grow naturally, and that's just another benefit for that. And plus, it will help to stop erosion. I've just went through here and pushed all this past week. Tried not to take too much topsoil off. Now I want to come in here and try to get this clover spread in here and get some grass going so that we can keep any more further erosion in the future and have something for the cows to kind of eat on. Guys, another one of the beautiful things about planting the red crimson clover is that you don't have to till it in. These seeds are probably not going to come up until next fall. So by going through here and putting them in here and then allowing nature to do its thing, when it rains, leaves will start falling off the trees. I mean, different things. Grass is going to grow up in here. Bushes and weeds are going to start coming up in here as the cows come through here and eat on everything. Their hoofs will make marks in the soil. The seeds will get caught up in all that. They'll graze the grass off and the weeds, and they'll use the bathroom, and a mixture of all this stuff that's going to be happening through here will be permaculture at its finest, because we have trees up here that's serving as the upper layer, and this is going to be the very bottom layer. Clover loves to grow up underneath things like that, so it will actually benefit nature, the soil, the total environment, and it doesn't have to require equipment to make it happen. Okay guys, we've come to the corner where we're going to make a turn, and now we're going to be on the other side of our property in here that's all growed up in timber and weeds and stuff, where we have trash piles pushed up. This is where we're going to let the cows come in here, because I raise Dexters. Dexters love to browse around through the trees and eat the leaves off of stuff. They love weeds and stuff like that. They're not too big on the finer grasses and stuff. They're kind of like a goat. They like to forage on stuff in the woods, and they stay perfectly healthy doing it. So I've pushed a fence line down through here. I'm going to be coming through here now, and I'm going to be planting the red crimson clover in here too. Not only will it be beneficial to the cows, but guys, you know what? My cabin is sitting right here in the background, and when Wanda and I sit on the porch, we'll be able to look out here and see this red crimson clover waving in the wind, and it'll just be a beautiful addition to the cabin. Well guys, we've arrived to another place that we're going to be planting a few crimson clover seeds at, and we have a new big place cleaned off out here. This is not going to be inside the paddock that we're going to be fencing off. This is going to be just outside it. This is the new mystery project here at Deep South Homestead. You will get to see a little bit more about this project a little bit later on this summer. I told you in 2021, Deep South Homestead is going to continue to make a lot of changes, and I'm sorry about the wind, but it feels really good. We're going to be making a lot of changes here at Deep South Homestead, and this is going to be one of them. So stay with us, continue to watch us, and pay attention, and see what this project is going to end up being. Now I've got to continue this on around. I got to go on down to the bottom of the holler here, and I'll have all my red crimson around my fences, and we'll be ready to start putting up fencing. And also we have a small fruit orchard that we've started right here. We've got some apples, several different varieties of apples. We have several different varieties of pears. We have some plums further down the hill. And we're going to be spreading some of these red crimson clover seeds around the trees in here because they are a good nitrogen fixer for the trees. Guys, it's just more permaculture. We actually have a couple growing here from, I guess a bird dropped some seed here. There's one coming up over here. We're going to try to add a lot more in here for next year. Now, guys, we have completed cutting down our red crimson clover and spreading it everywhere. Now the rain will pick up and the seeds will wash down the hill and all this area down in here, and it should transfer. There should be some here next year. There should be some down here next year before the next terrace row, and then the next year we will hopefully carry it on. That's how permaculture works, guys. This is how we take care of our property, and we don't really have to run around fertilizing everything. We let nature do what it does best, and that's take care of itself. So thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.